What's up, everyone? Drew, aka Catching Rockets here. I hope y'all had a good day today. Not a horribly difficult day to trade, I don't think. Let's start. Well, actually, I'll show you guys this while I'm looking at it. I couldn't really find a setup that I like, in the sense that we have a shelf that would need to be lost like all the way down to kind of 81ish. Something like this. If I could get in this trade like a little bit earlier and feel, like confident that we're not going to bounce, I would probably take short, or take puts 192.60ish. But there's a chance they're going to bounce at 192. And right now price is at 195. But once they lose this, we should be going to about 189. Based on Elliott waves anyway. Something like this. I would get out a little bit early, but yeah. Again, I mean, you guys totally welcome to take it if you want to. Losing 191 and 85 cents will be decent for puts, and you would want to trim right around 191 and then potentially go to 189. Okay. Let's take a quick, let's look at Netflix first. I was kind of laughing when this played out today, because I had that person 2 days ago that was like, oh, Netflix had other ideas, and I'm like, yeah, it's just setting up for another short tomorrow. Tomorrow being today. So we opened, came back inside, triggered basically, and then they sent it up, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Wait, yeah. And then we just dumped and went and hit our profit target pretty quickly. I don't think anybody should have been stopped on this, but let me just check. Could be wrong. Yeah, it's pretty sketch. If people got stopped out, I would understand. It's really close. Like, here at 2.15 to 1 risk to reward. If we go to 2 to 1. I mean, at 2 to 1, you were close. But, yeah, it played out. Really, really close, though. Not the most beautiful play in the world. I mean, pretty crazy. Was I just using the wrong level? Oh, this was not a good trade. This is a fail. People were messaging me like they won on it, which means they're probably just holding way too long. That's pretty crazy. Or am I looking at this wrong? Where's our open? I'm looking at the wrong time frame. I'm looking at Wednesday. What the hell? Okay, never mind. We're golden. I'm looking at the wrong day. So basically, today, here's our open. I think that's our profit target, yes. And yeah, you're solid. I'd probably want my stop loss to be right around here. Based on looking left, I'm just looking at these candles here, basically. And we're getting almost 5-1. This is killer. We were red for a little bit. Popped up. Or actually, we weren't even red. I'm sorry. Because we opened... Let me go to 1 minute. Opened, went over our level, and then crossed back below. Yeah. Why did the levels change on 1 minute? Oh, I'm drawing it off of this stupid... Okay. I am tripping, everybody. Okay. The risk reward's not as good, but... Yeah. So yeah, basically, I mean, we were red for a bit, a hot minute, and then yeah, sold off really quick. This trade didn't take long to play out. Let me just see. 26-minute trade for 16 points, roughly, almost 17 points. Sorry, everybody. I don't know why, like, what I'm missing. That I kept drawing, like, off of the VPOC of the visible range volume profile and looking at the wrong date. I'm tripping, everybody. I'm not high, I promise. Let's look at SPY really quick. For SPY, I saw a few decent setups. Let me see. I don't really remember what I was looking at. Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong day again. Okay. Woo! Let's get back to reality. So yeah, this is what I was looking at. This would have been a good short here. It did get sketchy for a minute, but I feel like if you're taking this trade, you should be targeting the single prints at the bottom, and your stop loss should be above the 2024 value area high. At least, you know, like based on what I'm teaching. And hopefully you guys understand why. If this is where we're wanting to flip to calls, then that's our target on puts, right? And even like, you know, with our stop loss slightly above the 2024 value area high, we're at 2.76 to 1 risk to reward. So this was the first trade setup that I saw that I liked, where we opened, sold off from here. And this is kind of two setups in one. This is the retest of the previous day value area low. It's also our open drive. And so if you're trading it like an open drive, your entry is actually right there. So a little bit higher. If you guys don't know what that is, I'll pull it up really quick on my screen. It's like actually a combination of an open drive and I forget what the other thing's called. Wyckoff, page 25-ish. Actually, it's like 27. But, yeah, right here. So, sideways price action. Big move down. Come back to that level. You would enter in the same direction. So, it's a market open plus open drive. That's what I was looking for. So we sold off at the open, came back, retested it. You would enter puts. And then this is the inverse on the call side. Just showing the setup so you guys are aware of what it is. But so this was a great trade. Probably the best trade of the day, in my opinion. Anything else was just yuck. I did call out... Sorry, let me delete this. I did call out calls when we came here. I think it was actually like specifically right at the September value area low. And I had the weirdest thing happen to me today. Fortunately, I closed my trade in profit, which sounds ridiculous, but I entered. Let me just delete some stuff so I can show what I did. Because I like to be, as revealed as possible and as honest as possible. When we came down to this level, on footprints, and also this was my buy zone anyway, but on footprints on ES, I saw like what looked like some big buyers. And so I entered, I don't remember exactly where, but I got in long on ES somewhere right around here. Knowing that I was in earlier than I wanted to be, and I knew that I wanted my stop loss to be down here somewhere. Why did that not draw a line? Below our poor low. And somebody asked me to explain why the poor low invalidates our trade, and I'll explain that right now. But basically, knowing that I was going to have such a large drawdown potentially, if, like this is a much larger stop loss than I normally like to have on ES. But it was such a big stacked level. What I was trying to do instead of taking one ES, so for people that don't know this, one MES is 1/10 of the size of ES. So 10 MES equals 1 ES. So basically, for every dollar move on ES, you make 50. Every dollar move on MES, you make 5. And I really don't, I can't even explain what happened to this point. I switched my DOM in Quant Hour to MES because I wanted to go with a smaller position size to allow myself to have a larger stop loss. And I was targeting the previous day value area low, just like I had told you guys. That was my target on the trade. And I put in an order for 5 MES. I click buy, again, somewhere right around here. I don't know exactly. And it filled me on a full ES. And so now at this point, like my stop loss based on where I want it to be is like $1,200. And I'm not comfortable risking $1,200 on one trade. Right. And then from here, like I went pretty red, came up, I was green, went pretty red again. And then on this candle here, I was like, you know what? I'm sweating bullets because I'm way over positioned for this trade that I'm, I'm not comfortable risking $1,200. And I'm just going to cut my, or not cut my losses isn't even the right word. I was like, I'm literally just going to close here and take my profits and run, which is not something that I would normally do. But again, I really don't understand why I put in an order for 5 MES and I got filled on ES. I'm absolutely baffled and confused. I have no idea what happened. But I was literally sweating bullets during the trade because things were looking pretty weak, and it's like, and again, normally I wouldn't even care, but for what I'm comfortable risking, which is something that I talk about a lot, I was not comfortable with what I was risking. So I was like, sweating bullets is an exaggeration. I was pretty frustrated, and not feeling comfortable in the trade at all. And so, when this happened, I was just like, all right, I'm in profit. Let me close this because I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm feeling way over positioned. I'm risking way more than I want to be risking. So I actually kind of closed like pretty much right at the top of like from where I entered the trade. It came here and then dumped and sold off, and it would have stopped me out had I not closed it. Again, not something that I teach and not something that I'm proud of. But again, like if another accident like that ever happened where, like I'm trying to take one ES and it fills me on 10, I'm going to close the trade, right? Like I'm not trying to trade that massive size and be risking way more money than I'm willing to risk. So I actually got out of this in profit, but just barely. And it was like a super sketchy trade for me. So as far as poor low invalidating our trade, if we understand, like single prints, either the top or the bottom, or poor lows, poor highs, single prints, we're generally expecting, like a strong reaction if we come back to that level. And so here, like we sliced through the single prints, which left me kind of sketchy about them, right? I'm like, like we kind of want a strong reaction right at that level, and they didn't give it to us. But then this whole level stacked, right? Where we have single prints, second sig, third sig, September value area low, and we're also trading in a range, right? Where this is like our 3-day balance. And generally, price would want to bounce and stay back in balance. Once we lose this poor low, and then again, we have to understand poor low, poor high. Those are unfinished auctions, right? Where generally when we come to those levels, price is going to want to explore lower, clean up the auction, and then potentially, go higher or lower. We don't really know. It's going to do what it's going to do from there. So in this case, we came down. It looks like we created single prints and then bounced, but they did it like so much lower than our poor low that, anybody, even if you entered the trade at the previous or at the September value area low, you should have been stopped out. Like if we're targeting previous day value area high, I guess there's a very slight chance that you didn't. It came super close to your stop loss if you're doing exactly 2-to-1. Yeah, like you could have got away with 2-to-1 just barely, but then you never would have made it to your profit target anyway. But anyway, just risking way more points than I'm willing to risk, and the poor low, it just invalidates it because once we break that, they're going to explore lower. We don't know how much lower. Sometimes it's a tiny bit. Like if we just look here, initially, when I say this, like it looks like they cleaned it up here. They did clean it up, but they still, even though we bounced from here, they still wanted lower, right? So that's why the poor low invalidates it. As soon as that's crossed, price should explore lower. If it was a poor high and it's crossed, price should explore higher and hopefully create a completed auction. And hopefully create a completed auction, either at the top or the bottom, and then bounce or reject. And again, that's what they did here. Like we can confidently right now highlight this level and say single prints. Okay. So hopefully that'll make sense. Again, the best trade was the open drive / retest of the previous day value area low. That was the trade of the day. Yeah. Let's start erasing everything. Chart up for tomorrow. That's all cleaned up. We're going to get rid of our SIGs. Since these are dailies. Oh, why do I still have monthly SIGs? I need to get rid of those as well, I think. Maybe I don't. It doesn't really matter. It's above. Oops. All right. 30-minute time frame, session volume profile. And this is also really bad for bulls, just to FYI. we'll look at the bigger picture in a second here. But basically, we're just doing everything we've been talking about. Let's look at TPO really quick, and then we'll look at the big picture. I'm going to try to read through chat in a minute. I have work tonight. So right now I'm kind of more focused on getting this charted. Oh, I guess. So this is actually a poor low. It was single prints when they first bounced from there, but then we came back and came back into that range. And then we also have a poor high. Let me look at news really quick for tomorrow. I don't think we have anything crazy going on. Yeah, there's a little bit, but not much. It's all pre-market. So before the market opens, consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. These are both going to be big. This could be like create a massive move. Let's zoom out. So we drew this yesterday. It would be like the smallest bear pennant in the history of bear pennants, but it still is one. We broke it, and now there's a pretty good chance that we're going to this 539 level. Or I should say 540. We're basically 540 is what we're targeting. We've set up for the 80% rule on the yearly. So for people that don't understand what that means, on our value areas, it doesn't matter if this happens above or below, but we're looking for 45 minutes or more spent outside of the value area. Come back inside the value area for at least 15 minutes, retest, and then there's an 80% chance that we're going to the bottom of the value area. And then the inverse, if we're below value area, 45 minutes, come back inside. And when I say 45 minutes, a minimum of 45 minutes. Spend a minimum of 15 minutes back inside, retest, and then you would enter calls targeting the far side. So that's already set up. Again, so 80% chance that we're going to 480 and 65 cents. If we look, we need to go to like lower time frame candles, but here we broke below, retested, broke below again, retested, and now we're finally like trying to sell off here. Daily volume was decent today. And by decent, it was really good. I don't know why I always say it's decent. This is good volume. So we were talking about this yesterday. The last 3 days, volume was decreasing, as we were trying to like break through this 2024 value area high. And now that we've broken through it, our volume is increasing and it's red volume, which just really indicates more downside. So again, I'm pretty confident that we're at least going to 540 as a minimum. it could happen quickly, but there's also a chance that we stall like through this area here. So they might come down into this and just, start chopping and then go. All right, back to SPY. With our news tomorrow, I would actually love it if they came up and cleaned up this poor low, tapped the 2024 value area high and rejected from there. I would also love this scenario. If we break, actually not break, but if we open below this and come up and retest it, this will not be a terrible spot to get into puts on this scenario, right? If we open above, I'd be watching for calls here. This also is not a terrible level for puts. And again, it's kind of the same thing. If we're opening below or come from below, watch for puts. If we open above, watch for calls. Whoa, what was that? Hopefully this makes sense to everybody. So far this has been resistance, resistance. And if we look further back, if I extend this line back here, we have support, support, resistance, support, 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 broke through, became resistance, resistance. Okay. Hopefully nobody has any questions. I know it's not. I'm like pretty iffy on every level. Other than, if we're opening above or below changes kind of everything that we're looking at. But this level here, 554.60, is a pretty key SR flip level, where If we're below it, we're looking for a rejection. If you want to be safe, wait for them to cross back below the previous day value area high, and grab puts there. But then know there's a chance that they might retest it, right? So, and then go down. If we're opening above, we're going to be looking at this for support, for a bounce, and I would close at the poor high. But just know they're probably going to go a little bit higher, but it's not very much. You know, like basically 26 cents. I would expect a rejection at the 2024 value area high. Okay. So that's it for SPY. If you guys have questions, let me know. I'm going to read through chat really quick, and then I'm going to dip out because I have work tonight. So, what's up, Gigi? What's up, Jack? What's up? Say it straight. Oh, Say It Straight's Judgment? Okay. What's up, M-Card? What's up, Katsu? What's up, Lisa? What's up, Corey? What's up, Jimmy? I don't see a volume anomaly. Red day and increasing red volume. Oh. What's up, David Ryan? What's up, Sarah Perry? You like hearing my dog walking around the house? That's funny. Toby, it's not just Toby. I have 2 dogs. Let me see. You guys are going to laugh at the other dog's name, but I'll explain it. Mouse. Old ass, come here. Toby's coming instead of Mouse. This is Mouse. She's like 14 or 15 years old. I don't know her exact age because I found her outside. Actually, she was running down the center line of a four-lane street. And I was following her. You know, she's so little. It was kind of hard to even see her in the street. But I started following her and just like trying to honk at cars to warn them that she was there. And she eventually ran into a cul-de-sac and like kind of cornered herself. And I was able to run up and grab her. And when I walked up to her, she started growling at me. And the whole time I'm thinking like, I'm going to catch this dog, you know, and find the owner and return her. And as soon as I walk up to her, she starts growling and she's like backed up in the corner. And I'm like, shit, I'm going to get bit by this dog. So I took off my shirt and I threw it over her head and I grabbed her. And as soon as I had her in my hand, she calmed down. And again, this whole time I'm like, we're going to find her owner, you know, get her back to them, whatever. And anyway, once I got her in the car and I kind of like looked at her, I'm like, I am not trying to find whoever owns this dog. The vets at the time estimated that she was about 6 months old. She was kind of emaciated, like really skinny. All of her ribs were showing. She was just completely covered in fleas. Like I got her home, gave her a bath, and as I'm bathing her, like blood is just pouring off of her. Like the water was running red. Like just totally infested with fleas. Anyway, got her flea meds, took her to the vet, got her vaccinated, you know, yada, yada, yada. Had the vet kind of just do like a full checkup on her because she was looking pretty rough. And at the time, like I really wasn't wanting another dog, but she kind of just happened. And so then at this point, I'm thinking like, let me rehome her and find a good home for her. But then it turned out that she was like very aggressive. When I say this, like it is what it is. I'm not being racist, but she hated Mexican looking women. I would be walking her, you know, on a leash, and she would see like a Hispanic woman and just start freaking out, wanting to attack her. I can only assume that she was like abused by somebody like, with like that skin complexion that was a woman. And I don't know, she just had issues with like small children, specifically like Hispanic looking women. But I mean, just kind of anybody in general. After a few days, like she got used to my family and my children, but everybody still had to be kind of cautious around her because if you approached her too quickly, like she would try to bite you. She was very defensive, very scared, had obviously, like gone through some shit. And so at that point, I was like, if I try to rehome her, she's going to bite somebody. She's going to end up getting put down. I'm just going to care for her, make sure that she never hurts anybody, and make sure that nobody ever hurts her again. So, yeah, she's been with me for roughly 15 years. And I think, we're coming to the end of life. I laugh just because, like obviously I'm not happy about that. I'm not excited about that. Love her to death. I think she's a Chihuahua Jack Russell Terrier mix, which is not a good combination for a dog. She's like hyper and wants to kill everybody. Now in her older age, she's calmed down where I don't have to, like I can, for example, I had family come over to the house the other day and one of the people was a 3-year-old kid. And I didn't have to worry about her trying to bite anybody. I think she finally realizes maybe that people are not all bad, and that not everybody's trying to hurt her. Or she's just gotten so old that she just doesn't care. I don't know. But so yeah, it's both dogs that kind of run around the house. But yeah, so then her name, when I found her, I showed you guys a picture. I had a dog that in my opinion looked like a teddy bear. So I named him Bear. And then when I found her, she had those big ears and she squeaked like a mouse. And I'm like, all right, I've already got a bear. Let me have a mouse as well. So we named her Mouse. So that's that. Thank you, Nora. I appreciate that. Toby wants to learn how to trade futures. Yeah, maybe. Hey, what's up, Alan? Sugar Plum, Netflix is not good for tomorrow. We're done. Netflix is done. This played out. We're done. People kept talking about, like before we had puts down, I don't know exactly where, but it was 889-ish. And that was from here. When we spiked up like that, that invalidated this trade. We're not looking for all of this downside and then more. We're good. We're done. From here, we look for the next setup. Alan, you got to follow your plan, brother. Thank you again, Nora. That's really sweet. I appreciate it. Oh, that's awesome, Chef. And that's 166%. That's probably like 500 or 600 bucks, maybe 700, because that was the contracts were pretty expensive. Heavy Chevys in a Verizon puts. I haven't even looked at Verizon. Oh, that's wild, Alan. Double order on Quan Tower. I've never had an issue with it. I don't know what the hell was up today. But maybe I should be thankful, because if I took the sizing that I wanted to, I would have got stopped out, whereas I ended up booking a win because I had to close the trade early. Yeah. Timothy, I'm not... So, you guys are... A lot of people asking about Netflix. And for me, I always look for Elliott Waves. And right now there isn't a setup on Netflix. And so, like, I just move on to the next. I don't care what Netflix does from here. And you guys should feel the same way. Like, you should have got your money and who cares what Netflix does from here? You know, like a lot of people could be like, oh, like if I had stayed in, you know, I could have made XYZ more. And it's really not much. It's like 2 points. Take your profits, go touch grass. I don't know, hug your kids, hug your family, go spend time with friends that you love. I don't know, do something. I'm not looking at Netflix anymore. I mean, I'll look at it every day until I see another setup. But right now, today, I don't have a setup. I don't really care what it does. We can look at like quick, dirty, ugly. We're at the closed cloud, 4-hour closed cloud. So they probably bounce from here. And I would anticipate they're going to like 405-ish. But they might go to 878 before they bounce. So you could get a 10-point drop and then bounce. There just isn't a setup here for me. Okay. Why am I on 5 minutes? Yeah. All right. SIGs. Oh, sorry. I actually forgot to draw or look at if there is even the possibility of drawing SIGs. So you're asking when do you delete them? If they're daily SIGs, you would delete them the very next day, which is what we did. And our SIGs, we need to have at least 2 days where the value areas are overlapping like we have here. This third day is overlapping. So we had drawn SIGs on the 3 days. Right now, our value areas are not overlapping, so we can't draw SIGs. So you would delete them today. If they were weekly SIGs, you're going to keep them on your chart until the close of the market on Friday, at which point you're either going to draw new weekly SIGs or you're going to delete the old ones. Or you're definitely deleting the old ones. But you might be drawing new ones if if you have 2 or more weeks overlapping each other. Okay. Let's see. What's up, One Puri? Almighty Beardman, you'll notice I'm not calling out a play based on our yearly volume profile, because it could take quite a while to play out, like really quite a while. Just if you look at SPY, I feel like we talk about this every day, but it's a challenge to see if I'm going to get the amount of days right. 217 days. We were trading in this area, right? So they could easily come down and just start chopping here for whatever, half a year, and then finally go and make the move, or make a partial move and then chop down here for another half a year. So yeah, I'm not calling out a play on this. It's just, and I'm not a huge swing trader. You'll notice like most of the option setups I give you guys are day trades. I do call out the occasional swing trade here and there, but more often than not, I'm calling out day trades. I feel more confident and more comfortable calling out levels on day trades versus swing trades. Yeah, government shutdown's a negative catalyst. I don't think there's anything that they can really do right now to change change this to a bullish scenario, but I could be wrong. Like, our economy is just in the shitter, and I don't care who you are. Actually, I didn't look at Tesla. I want to look at Tesla because we've been talking about that selling off from where they are. Yeah, they did. That's good. 4-hour close bottom. Again, like, I feel like that pump yesterday was just weird, and it's got to be like, them parking Teslas at the White House, which is just weird. Like, that's cringy weird to me. Sorry, but whatever. Um, what's up, Jesse? I can't answer that. You know, if the quality of the video is dropping, I think it might be like maybe me, because like with the window here, it's really hard for me to get the lighting good. Because if I move a little bit to the right, I start getting like shadows and dark. I don't know, but whatever. I'm not really worried about the production quality of the video. I'm more worried about the levels and the plays that we're calling out. Almighty Beardman, like, she might have had a rough first 6 months of her life, but since then she's had a very, very good life. I don't really talk about this very much, but like my dogs, they eat human grade food. Like, this is the dog food that I feed my dogs. So yeah, it looks something like that, but it's yeah, it even comes with their name on the package. Yeah, and then it's like pork, turkey, and beef, and it's got veggies in it and whatever else. But yeah, they're anything but, or she's anything but poor. Very spoiled. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, no worries, Nora. What's up, Michael Cruz? Oh, that's crazy, Ellen. Yeah, it's weird. Intel, you should already be in. I don't... There was no reason to ever get out of Intel. We bought, what, like, calls, $30 calls for 27, like the year 27, January 2027, so 2 years out calls. We never had a reason to get out. If you guys don't understand Intel, like, as a company, their stock, whatever, has just been getting demolished, right? And maybe Intel goes out of business, but they're not going bankrupt. Like, their IPs alone are worth so much money that if they start struggling as a company, somebody's going to buy them out. And when that happens, we're going to get some massive news scandal. Shorty's price target is like $75. So he thinks we're coming here. And more than just like words, he's got 20,000 shares. So money is where his mouth is. Yeah, so there was never a reason to get out of Intel. If they do sell it back down, then this green zone is your range to buy. But yeah, for me, there was never a reason to close it. Some of you are in that see profit, take profit mentality, which is not a good mentality. If you're doing see profit, take profit, then you need to do see red, take a loss. Just saying. Thank you, Sugar Plum. Dose of Glory, I use a scanner. Dose of Glory, I trade live in my mentor's Discord. Keep my hands up. Why do I have monthly and yearly value highs and lows? Because those are important levels. Actually, you just brought up like a good point. I just looked at the time because I'm kind of running out of time. But if we're, we need to look at our monthly levels for the range that we're in, which I haven't done. Oh, so I have September, but I need to put August levels on. Or wait, I have August high. I have August POC. I need August low. And I also need September. Or sorry, what is this? July. My bad. Sorry, I'm going to chart July really quick and then finish up the chat, like looking through what people are saying in chat. And then I'm going to run. I got to go hop in the shower and get ready for work. Okay. All right. Finish looking through the chat really quick here. Well, Almighty Beardman, if we were buying leaps on SPY, I think we already like missed the mark, like for puts. We were talking. I mean, we bought puts here, I believe. Like held overnight. We bought puts here and held overnight. Pretty sure I was saying buy puts up here, and we swung them overnight. I mean, you could, since we're like coming back inside the 2024 value area high, but also even on that, like we're down like roughly 5 points from there. If we retest the 2024 value area high, like you could get leaps if you wanted to, but it's not something like that I'm gonna give like a time frame and anything like that. Like just not something that I'm interested in calling out, but definitely doable to grab puts at the yearly value area high. Well, Michael, so you don't want it to hit 24 and fall back to 20. You need to trade with a plan. Like if you're getting into a trade, you need to figure out where you want to put your stop loss and where you want to put your take profit. And we're not just closing, based on percentage gain. Not a good way to trade. So. Stock Explorer, the month was July. I'm sorry, January. Yeah, you should be able to transfer your positions, Nora, from one broker to another. I'm not sure about options, but definitely stocks. The raw grind, I'm a respiratory therapist and a day trader, in case you haven't noticed. Yeah, you can do that, Beardman. You can trade, leaps on big levels for sure. All right, everybody. It looks like we've gotten to the end of the chat. It looks like I've answered all of the questions. I don't see anything else. Yeah, kind of just to talk to Michael really quickly, like, and when I say this, like, I'm not trying to beat you up, but closing a trade because you're up 70%, that's really like retail mentality on trading, and you don't want to be retail. Here I'm constantly using, like our short long position tool, one risk, two reward minimum. That's how you want to trade. So you want to be trading key levels, like in a July value area high, close at the single prints, whatever, stop loss, wherever it is, so on and so forth. So you want to trade with a plan. Even if your plan involves trailing, you need to be trailing at specific levels. But I would recommend for like 6 months not trailing at all and just trading, based on entry, stop loss, take profit, and let your stop loss get hit and let your take profit get hit only, and nothing in between. And after 6 months, then at that point, like, you can identify, like, let's just say we got in previous day value area high and we're targeting this, but the July value area high is between that and that. As long as our stop loss isn't too big, as long as we're basically saying my initial trade basically is this, because here I'm going to trail and take profits or whatever. Like, if you trim one contract here and then you're targeting this next, and bringing your stop loss to break even, that's fine. But it needs to be planned out before you take the trade. Okay? So, yeah. Let me post this in Keenan's really quick. While I'm doing this, I'll just hang out in case there are more questions. All right. Have a good shift, Almighty Beard Man. All right, everybody. So, as always, huge thank you to the subscribers. Extra big thanks to friends of the stream and everybody that chats, keeps everything interesting. Really appreciate it. Extra big thanks to Nora for the donations today and for donating the friend subscription. And if you're new here, I will say, like, this is never going to be like some professional stream where I'm going to work on things like not saying I don't know. It's just part of my vocabulary. I use it a lot. If you don't like it, I get it. I do say a lot. But really, this is just, 5 days a week. We go over levels on SPY, go over potential option setups that we see. And along the way, like, we'll throw a little bit of education in here and there as kind of questions come in the chat. The oh wait, I think somebody asked me a question. Somebody asked me a question. I'm not going to know what it was. Actually, let me see if I can figure it out really quick, because I said I would talk about it today, and let me see, where was it? It was yesterday's. Oh, Corey asked what cut of beef I'm using to make jerky. It really depends. If I can find a brisket, I'll just buy a whole brisket, and I'll make beef jerky with the brisket, just trim the fat off. If not, I just buy like the leanest cut of meat that I can find. So normally like like some type of a roast. So yeah, that's what I do. I guess that wasn't the video that the question's on. Actually, let me do this really quick. Sorry. Bear with me, everybody. When I reply to comments on videos, then it hides them from me, but I think I can uncheck this and then see it. Oh, so somebody asked for my settings on fibs. So, well, shoot. I'm trying to find like a blank spot on the screen. Let's use this. Actually, I guess I don't even need a blank spot. There's my settings. You can pause and screenshot. Oh yeah, so if you're new and you found the content useful and helpful, I would appreciate a subscribe. Basically, like I said, 5 days a week. Sunday, normally either Saturday or Sunday through Thursday, we'll go live and cover what we see and what we're expecting to happen the next day. We'll look for some option setups. And then normally like once or twice a month, we'll do classes on YouTube teaching how to trade. And then we also, every like quarter, so every 3 months, we'll do a stock scan looking for setups on stocks that we want to have long-term positions in. Yeah, well, that's awesome. Dose of glory. But don't just dollar cost average into one company. Do several. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, I know Almighty Beardman. He needs to do it. Hey, what's up, Rob? How you doing? You changed your name. Yeah, I've been telling him. I mean, he can actually cook. My son can cook, believe it or not. Like, if I have ground beef in the fridge and tell him, hey, go make me a medium rare burger with an egg over easy, like he'll toast the buns, he'll cook the burger like perfectly medium rare. He'll make an over easy egg, put it on top of the burger, like melt the cheese, the whole nine. He can cook a burger as good as I can. Even get a little crust on it. And then, so like sometimes, he'll be motivated and do stuff, but yeah, he could make a fortune if he was making jerky. But kids, they want to have fun and do their thing. Emily, when you're drawing SIGs on stocks, it would be on regular trading hours. If you're doing it on futures, it would be with ETH turned on. Your SIGs for yearly would be the daily candles. For monthly SIGs would be 4-hour candles. Weekly SIGs is 65-minute candles. And our daily SIGs are on 30 minutes candles. Okay. You don't use session volume profile for anything other than daily. You use PVP. So PVP, what in the world? If you're doing weekly, you do period 1 week. If you're doing monthly, you do period 1 month. And if you're doing yearly, you do period 12 months. And then you do them on the time frames that I said. So again, daily, 1 day candles for your 12 or for your yearly levels, 4-hour candles for monthly, 65-minute for weekly, and you don't use PVP for daily. You use session volume profile. Okay. Alrighty. With that said, let's see. Oh, you have 2 different accounts, Rob. Okay. You draw the fixed range volume profile. So like, we don't have SIGs that I can draw right now. If we were doing it based on the previous 3 days, not including today, So like if we remove this, you use your indicator, whatever it is, whether you're using PVP or session volume profile, you go from the first candle of whatever the time frame is to the last candle. So in this case, my fixed range volume profile would be from this candle here, the first candle of Monday, to the last candle of Wednesday. And that would be, and then at that point, I turn off session volume profile. So it's easier for me to see this. You start on value area volume 68. That's your first SIGs. Second SIGs is 95. And third SIGs is 99. Okay. ES is easy too. If regular stocks are easy, ES is easy. You just chart everything on extended trading hours except for TPO. TPO you chart on regular trading hours. Okay. Alrighty. Wow, now I'm running a little bit late, but it's all good. All right, much love, everybody. Much respect. You guys have a good day trading tomorrow, and I hope you all have a good weekend. I'll probably, depending on what Shorty's doing, if he's doing a class Sunday morning, which I think he probably will be, I'll go live Saturday and cover what I'm looking for on Monday. If Shorty's not going live Sunday, then I will probably go live Sunday. All right. Much love, much respect, everybody. Peace out, y'all. Have a good weekend. Spend some time with your loved ones.